Wakey wakey, the Kellogg's football camps are back this summer. To claim a free place, grab a promotional pack of Kellogg's cornflakes, Cocoa Pops or Rice Krispies. More information is available via the link in the description of this episode. Would you like to score epic goals like Erling Haaland, Alessia Russo or Kylian Mbappe? Well, look no further than the Score Like a Striker book. The first book in a fantastic new series from the best-selling author Ben Littleton, whose previous books include the likes of 12 Yards, Edge and the smash hit Football School series. If you haven't already, then listen to the episode which I've done with Ben, and a link to buy that very book is in the description of that episode. So, what are you waiting for? Grab yourself a book, listen to that episode, and score like a striker. Score Like a Striker is published by Puffin.
Rose is your name, but when you poop it sure don't smell like roses. Your number 2 burns the hair in my nose, but we fought hand in paw. Now your poop don't stink at all. Now that the air is clear, I'll treasure your front and rear, my sweet Rose.
Instantly neutralize poop stink with Poop Fighter from World's Best Cat Litter for the world's best cat.
Lowe's knows to bring your vision to life, it's important to find the right color. That's why MyLowe's Rewards members get a free paint or exterior stain sample to test your look and find the perfect color to confidently refresh your space. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer valid in-store only 6/19 through 6/25. Limit 1 per customer while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See associate for details. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
When we started writing our thoughts down on paper, it opened up endless possibilities. Ideas could grow beyond the borders of the mind, and it changed the world. Somewhere along the way, we lost touch with paper, distracted by devices made for every purpose except for thinking and focus. On edge, waiting for the next notification. But what if new technology didn't pull us away from paper, but brought us closer to it? Listen. That's not paper. It's the sound of the new Remarkable Paper Pro, rewriting the future. A paper tablet with a true color ink display, gentle reading light, and unheard of tactility. With digital features for taking notes, thinking, and organizing, without any distractions. Paper is about to change the world again. Get your paper tablet at remarkable.com today.
To the Football for Kids podcast with me, Darren Rees. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a young man who is looking like he will be the future of French football. A young man who is lighting up the pitch at Paris Saint-Germain, and a young man who has already had a major impact on the French national side. Of course, in this episode, we're going to be speaking about no other than Désiré Doué. Before we do that, a few of your shout-outs and your messages. The first one says, "Hi, this is Raf. I am age 9. I love the podcast and I play for Newark Town Titans under 9s in Nottinghamshire. My team players are Harry, Stephen, Farley, Will, Harley, James, Billy, Aston, Santana, Ashton, Emmanuel and Alfie. Oh, and of course, me as well. That's Raf, just in case you've forgotten. Raf's coaches are Lewis, Nathan and Kane, and they do a wonderful job. Poor old Raf is on his way back from a fractured wrist, and I know that you recently had a tournament, so I hope that went really well for your team, and a massive shout out to your brilliant football coaches, all of your teammates, and of course, you." And the next one is a massive shout out to Grendon Rangers, the coaches Nick and Andy, the players William, Harrison, Dylan, Theo, Peter, Fletcher, Caitlin, Kyle, Ben, George, Rowan and Jensen. A huge shout out to every single one of you. I hope that you had a brilliant season last season. I hope the next season is even better. And lastly, a huge shout out to Ben Gratian from Chichester Colt Red. The coaches are Adam and Coach Crespi. And of course, we can't do this shout out without saying a huge hello to Luke, Ethan, Seb, Jonah, Henry, Spencer, Jacob, David, Otto and Finley. So, Ben, who plays for Chichester Colts Red, a massive shout out to you. Thanks for being a Patreon supporter of the podcast and helping me to keep it going and flowing, and a huge shout out to all of your teammates as well. Right then, let's get on with this episode, shall we? On the brilliant, on the fantastic, on the marvellous, the terrific Désiré Doué. Doué was born on the 3rd of June in 2005. He was born in France to a French mother and a father who is from the Ivory Coast, which is the same country where the legendary Didier Drogba came from. Désiré Doué's father is a massive football fan. He is someone who has for a very long time been incredibly passionate about the beautiful game of football. So much so that he played not only a humongous part in the progression, the training and the journey of his son Désiré Doué, but his brother as well, who plays in the German divisions, but also his cousin Jan, who is also a top footballer from the French divisions. When Désiré Doué was younger, he was standing out playing football amongst his friends and neighbours on the streets. Fairly recently, some of those people were interviewed about Doué and what he was like as a youngster, and they said that he used to give us a thrashing at football, like a proper thrashing. None of us could get the ball from him, and if we did, well, he'd have it back in about half a second. And then he would really casually rainbow flick it over our heads or just stick it straight through our legs. Doué was talented, but everyone that knows him and his family, especially those that have known him for such a very long time and those that have known him since he was young, have always said the same thing. You have some trouble finding someone who has worked harder or works as hard and as relentlessly as Désiré Doué has. He has always been putting in a shift, at training, away from training, and his hard work has got him where he is today. As a kid, Désiré was known for being an energetic lad who wore a big beaming smile and was almost always happy, and his family always made sure that he took his education very seriously, and he did too. Those that knew Désiré Doué personally, especially those that have known him since a kid, know how much of a big dreamer he has always been. He used to tell the people around him that he would go on to play for the biggest clubs in the world. The thing is, lots of people dream of these things, but dreaming isn't enough. You have to put the work in, and Désiré Doué knew that. So, true to his word, true to his dreams and his claims, he would go on to play for one of the biggest clubs in the world, and he would live that moment. At a very young age, Désiré Doué was being spoken about and spotted by top people in football. And from 5 years old, he was playing and training in top academies in France, where some of the best players in France and around the world would be training and developing their skills. It's reported that he would often play and train with kids 2, 3 and sometimes 4 years older than him. But this was never really a problem. He was super fast, super agile, super skillful, and of course he worked super hard. So naturally, he only got better and better as the time went by. One of the coaches from the top French academy Doué was training at said that at 6 years old, he watched him and he couldn't quite believe his eyes. He couldn't quite believe what he was watching when he saw this little lad with a massive smile dribble through defenders with ease and then smash the ball into the top bins and hit the back of a net. But he didn't just do that, his technique was like a pro who had been playing all his life. Most football-loving kids are inspired by a certain footballer when they're younger. I was inspired by Sir David Beckham. Did you see what I did there? Not David Beckham anymore, it's Sir David Beckham. Anyway, you're probably inspired by someone too. For Désiré Doué, it was a Brazilian player with flash skills, amazing vision, and an ability to score highlight reel goals of ease. Have you guessed who it is yet? If not, it's Neymar Jr. It's said that Doué, when he was younger, would try and play just like Neymar. The flash dribbling, the whipping crosses, and the aesthetically pleasing goals. That was what Doué loved and tried to bring into his own game, which I think it's easy to see now he has definitely got a bit of Neymar about him. Doué progressed well in the training academies of France, where the level of football is very high indeed. However, it wasn't all plain sailing, as like everyone and anything in life, when you're on a journey and trying to make stuff happen and be successful in whatever it is, trust me, there will always be challenges. There will always be stuff to hold you back. But it's how you take on that challenge that determines whether you will be successful or not. For Désiré Doué, it was his physical strength and his height. By the time he was approaching his teenage years, he wasn't the tallest, and he hadn't grown into his full adult body, or shown any signs that he was going to be a big, tall, strong adult. And this put him at a disadvantage when it came to playing with the other kids alongside him. Eventually, he would fill into his frame, and by the time he was 17 years old, he was nearly 6 foot tall and had muscles growing from, well, muscles. And because of that, his speed, his durability and his strength went through the roof, making him an even better player than he already was. And that made him a pretty scary contender in the team. So, if you aren't the tallest right now, I'm sure one day you'll be big and strong just like Doué. And that will be a problem of the past. So many players have been in that very same situation and now are well over 6 foot tall, doing wonderful things and quite literally living their dream. Never ever give up hope and never stop working hard. Hard work is one of the most important things you can ever do. The French academy that Doué was playing in, training in and being a massive part of was Rennes. It was here that he would play alongside some of the top talent in France and around Europe, and eventually, thanks to his graft and the work which he put in, he would go on to play for the men's first team. In his debut, he didn't score. In fact, the team lost, but he stood out thanks to his flair, his skillful moves, the pressure he put on the opposition, and one report called him a future star without doubt. Doué ended up spending 4 seasons with Rennes in the first and second team, playing across the French third division and the top division, where he scored some great goals, played some great football and learnt a lot along the way. Like we always say on this podcast, where there are top players, there will always be top scouts having a look, and the big clubs always come knocking. And in the case of Désiré Doué, one of the big clubs that would come knocking would be the biggest club in French football, which is, of course, PSG. In 2024, he joined PSG. But he didn't just join PSG, he joined a changing room full of superstars. He joined a club full of huge expectations. He joined a proper powerhouse of European football. The dream he spoke about as a kid had come true because of his persistence and because of his never giving up attitude. But really, the hard work was just about to start, because it's one thing getting to a place like PSG, but it's another thing entirely when it comes to becoming a regular starting 11 who scores goals, makes assists and makes match-saving tackles. Doué, well, he was up for the challenge. Not only was he up for the challenge, he smashed the challenge, becoming one of the most played players in a PSG kit in his first season. And in his first season, he won the quadruple with the club, winning the French version of the FA Cup, the French version of the Charity Shield, the French top division. Oh, and of course, who can forget that incredible Champions League final between PSG and Borussia Dortmund, which PSG didn't just win, they absolutely smashed, winning 5-0 in the highest win in a Champions League final history. And who scored 2 goals? Yes, of course he did. It was our man, Désiré Doué, 20 years old, 2 goals in a Champions League final, and he's only 1 season in. What a player. Doué hasn't just done wonderful things already as a club player, but he's been representing his country of France since the under-17s, and is now a standout in the men's senior national side, and I bet he'll be a standout in the FIFA 2026 World Cup. I hope you've enjoyed listening and learning about the story so far and the journey so far of Désiré Doué and all that he has achieved. So remember, if you know someone who loves football just as much as you do, then please tell them about Football for Kids. And whether you're playing football soon, watching it on the telly or pitch side, I hope that you enjoy the game. See you next time.
podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/kidsandfamily. Just go to Indeed.com/kidsandfamily right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.